There's one line from the song "Stand Up." You saying you gotta hang on to your sound.
Hang on to yourself.
Oh, sorry, but I'm not. Okay, sorry.
I can answer that question as well. I'm very
there
flexible.
There goes my question.
I'm very flexible.
There goes my question. So,
yeah.
Okay.
And I use that "hang on to yourself" in the Sound of Winter as well. A couple of times, like
why?
Because that's because I think that in an ever-changing world and in the challenges that everybody's lives are very challenging. It doesn't matter if whoever you are is challenging, and the more you live, the more you appreciate how challenging it is. And so I think it's essential to hang on to yourself, because it's a kind of self-nurturing. So I've said that in 2 songs, and it's also like I also said twice on the record, our love is ocean-sized. Because I love that idea of an ocean-sized love. I say to my kids, I say, I don't love you this much, and I don't love you this much. I love you this. No, I do it like as wide as I can go, and they love it every time. Because they're young, they'll get bored of it soon, but they love it. It's
5 years now, the oldest. So.
Yeah. So it's very cute. They love that, because they say to me, I don't love you that much, Daddy. So I love the idea of a love being ocean-sized. So really, kind of person I am, I could sing that in every song, because I think it's a message that's good to keep saying.
Well, the thing is that there's also a quote you said that we are the sum of everything we've done, right, wrong, and in between. What do you mean by that exactly?
That was the sea of memories. That's the idea that we are, we are the journey. The journey that we've been on, however painful, however happy, is who we become. That's what it means. Simple. I'm simple, really.
We're all victims and benefactors of our past. It's the same.
I know.
Yeah.
What a mouthful.
Yeah.
It's rubbish. Like sometimes I say stuff and I'm so annoyed that because I do so many interviews that sometimes I don't want to actually repeat the same thing, but yet I have to say the same thing.
Okay, well then.
Do you understand what I mean? So when I read back, I go, oh, who speaks like that? You do. But only in one instance, and then it follows me.
What do you have with Bob Marley?
Just undying thanks.
Because the second name of your second son, Nesta, I think it's also Robert Nesta Marley.
Yeah.
That's why he's called Nesta? Mm-hmm. Okay. So what?
Oh, the biggest connection between me and my wife, musically, or I might even say the only connection between me and my wife musically, is reggae. We both love reggae.
Yeah.
And that's why we named our son Kingston. That's Kingston, Jamaica. And so it just made sense. I grew up loving Bob Marley so much, like probably everyone in the world.
What makes him so good?
Just the purity of his talent, the purity of his message, and the fact that he was the first person that it felt like that came almost to the West, to England when I was growing up. It was the first reggae record that I heard, and we used to spend a lot of time in Notting Hill. Growing up, my best friend lived there. I lived in North London, but West London's Notting Hill. So All Saints Road, when it used to be dangerous, now it's restaurants and bathroom stores, and it's very gentrified, but it used to be kind of scary. You'd literally be the only white person walking down the street of a packed street. You know what I mean? It was somewhat hostile. I mean, now I realize I was too young to be in a lot of danger, 14, 15, but it had a certain energy. You had to have a sort of a confidence to walk through there as a white person. You can't walk through there with a map.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
You have to look like you live there, which I did. So it was okay. But so through all the sound systems and all the windows, was reggae. The great record stores was Rough Trade, and then the dancehall dub record, Honest John's. Great. So I grew up with that. So that's the connection that Gwen and I had. So it just seemed like a fitting thing. And Nesta Rock, Rock was one of my nicknames growing up. So it was Zuma Nesta Rock, and yeah.
Why was your nickname Rock? Because of rock music you play?
Yeah, I suppose so.
That's why.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Well, the thing is, you were saying growing up, you are from 1965. What are your earliest memories music-wise? Because, well, 5, 6, 7 years old, did you even pick up the Beatles when you were young? Or?
No, no, no. My first memories, what was very lucky for me is it was a perfect time in a weird way, because when I was like maybe 11 or 12 was at the punk.
Yeah.
So I really witnessed a revolution. You know, the front cover of the papers, the Sex Pistols, all those things that were happening, and I was this kid, and my sister was 2, 3 years older than me, so she was like bleached hair punk, all her friends were so cool, all punks, all the prettiest girls, and they always come around to my house, and I try and hang out with them, and you put the egg white, you know, you get an egg, you take the yolk out, and you use the egg white, and you make your hair stick up like spiky. And then at the end of the night, it's like dandruff, you know, like because it crumbles, and so it looks like you have terrible skin, like it's hilarious. But so I grew up through that revolution in music. Now nothing is shocking in music. You know, people listen to it, they don't care. There's nothing compared to that experience that I went through. And at the top of my road where I grew up was a record store called Manzy's. And so each week I could take my money, pocket money I'd get for doing my jobs around the house for my father, and I would go and buy one record. So I have all the punk singles, I have all the Sex Pistols singles, Clash, X-Ray Specs, I mean, all those bands. And these guys in the record store used to school me. They'd be like, you know, sort of intrigued. There's this kid coming in every week. Okay, what am I buying this week? Who's got a single out I want to get? And they help me, you know. Then they start saying, okay, you know, you like all this punk stuff, but now look at some of this reggae music, now look at this American music, now this is the Doors, this is the Velvet Underground, this is, you know, and I grew up, my aunt lived in my house as well, so she would play me, she would play herself, David Bowie, you know, Ziggy Stardust, I mean, you know, Bush toured with Bowie, you know, in Brazil, in South America, Argentina, Brazil, Uruguay, I think. Maybe not Uruguay, but it sounds good anyway. But a few shows, a couple of weeks with him. So it's so incredible for me to have grown up listening to him and then be on a tour with him. So those are my memories. That's how music was. It was like punk music and reggae, which is why still you hear every bass line of mine is a reggae bass line. And there's the anger, and you know, some people say, oh, maybe the anger record isn't anger. It's powerful. That power is punk. That power is because I grew up listening to guitars.